Mr. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, Carleton graduates, it gives me pleasure to introduce Mr. Philippe Camus, who has a distinguished career that spans the areas of finance, aerospace, and now telecommunications. Mr. Camus, who is the current chairman of the board of Alcatel-Lucent, has an economics and finance degree from Institut d'études politiques de Paris, a physics degree from École Normale Supérieure, and a doctorate in actuarial sciences. Mr. Camus began his career in the early 70s in the finance department of Caisse des Dépôts et Consignations. In the early 80s, he joined the Matra Group, which specializes in aerospace and high technology. He engineered the transformation of Matra and Hachette into an integrated company that's called Lagardère Group, a French conglomerate with holdings in publishing, retail, media, and aerospace. In the 90s, he was appointed managing director, where he implemented a tight financial and reporting governance structure by divesting units to focus into activities on the core business of the conglomerate. Mr. Camus has been a co-managing partner of Lagardère Group since 1998. Mr. Camus' expertise in international negotiations and management led him to conduct and oversee the work bringing about the creation of EADS, or the European Aeronautic Defense and Space Company. The name EADS may not be familiar to some of you. However, I'm sure that you know extremely well some of its subsidiaries, such as Airbus, for example, with its flagship Airbus 380 and Airbus 350, Eurocopter, and Astrium Aerospace. AEDS, where Mr. Camus was Chief Executive Officer from 2000 to 2005, is the largest aerospace company worldwide. Mr. Camus has always been a strong advocate of transatlantic collaboration, stating that transatlantic allies should foster an environment in which transatlantic and other international industrial partnerships could focus on delivering the most advanced systems in the most effective, cost-effective manner. Mr. Camus is also a member of the French Supervisory Authority for the Financial Markets. He was president of the French Aerospace Industries Association, director of Schlumberger, and he's a partner of Evercore from New York. In July 2005, Mr. Philippe Camus was made officer of the French Légion d'honneur, and in May 2004, he was awarded the Cross of the German Merit Order. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of a distinguished career and leadership in European aerospace and strong promotion of transatlantic collaboration in defense, I request that you confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Mr. Philippe Camus.
By virtue of my authority, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. Chancellor, Madame Présidente, François Delattre, ambassadeur de France, Professor Rafik Koubran, distinguished members of the faculty and guests and Carleton graduates and graduates. I will speak in English, but before just let me say a few words in French. Chers amis francophones, vous pourrez constater que mon amour pour la langue française se retrouve parfaitement dans mon accent typiquement français quand je parle l'anglais. I am extremely proud and delighted that Carleton University invited me to accept this honor. And I will tell you why it's so important to me. Among the values I cherish are tolerance, openness, and respect of diversity. In my life, I have always been curious about what or who is on the other side of the table. I strongly believe that discussing, exchanging, and living together are a plus for everyone. Canada is a good example of diversity. Canada is a family, and even if it happens in a family, brothers and sisters may argue from time to time, they live in the same home under the same roof. The family home of Canada is Ottawa, and for me it's a very strong symbol to be distinguished by Carleton University here in Ottawa. The second reason why I'm so pleased is because when I read the programs offered at Carleton University, they look familiar to me. I was lucky enough in my life to be able to study physics, mathematics, finance, and political science. I can find that at Carleton University. So I feel at home, and especially in addition to that, because I know that Canada, thanks to Carleton University, hosts major companies in aerospace, an industry I especially know well. The third reason why I'm pleased is that Carleton University is a young university. Even very young, I must say. I was born in 1948 and Carleton in 1945, so I can assure you I feel that it's a young university. But more seriously, as a young one, Carleton has and will have all the necessary vitality and energy to cope with the 21st century. Reread or read, if you have not already done so, the 2009 strategic plan of Carleton. You feel this energy and this vitality. You will need these strengths in the future. What will be the 21st century? We had the 18th century, we call that the siècle des Lumières, the 19th century, siècle de la révolution industrielle, and the 20th century, which does not have a generally accepted name yet, but I would call it the siècle des idéologies. The beginning of this century, the 21st one now, is terrible and challenging, but you, Carleton graduates and alumni, are the ones who will have the chance to build it and to build a better world. I am convinced that we are on the forefront of major transformations in many fields of human activity. Let us take two priorities I did extract from the Carleton strategic plan. New digital media is one of those. As chairman of the board of Alcatel-Lucent and managing partner of Lagardère, a global media company, I am in the core of the new digital media revolution. Information technology is transforming our space, and it is just beginning. As part of Alcatel-Lucent, we own the Bell Labs, the famous one. In my office in Murray Hill, New Jersey, there is a display of what has been invented there since Alexander Graham Bell. Last year, we had the honor to celebrate two of our researchers who won the 2009 Nobel Prize in Physics. By the way, one of them is a Canadian citizen born in Amherst, Nova Scotia. It is always a great pleasure for me and very exciting to spend some time with the Bell Labs research team discussing what is coming next. I can tell you that we have in our labs a lot to come, which will revolutionize telecommunications technology. For example, we are close to building what we call the next generation of transistor, which will rely on quantum mechanics, and we are not the only one in the world to work on that topic. So quantum computing will exist, and it will dramatically change the overall space of information technology. Some other teams are looking and already working on transmission of information at a speed which could be higher than the speed of light, still to be discussed. I could review many other areas where science and technology will shape our world. It is true for aerospace and energy. We can consider new ways of propulsion which would be much more efficient and environmentally friendly. Technology will help us to design safer, better, greener aircrafts. Space technology will support our efforts to manage the natural resources we have on Earth. From a more global point of view, I believe that we are a few years away from achieving tremendous breakthrough in physics. I foresee the same kind of transformation than the one which happened at the beginning of the 20th century. Innovation is not limited to science and technology. The media business is changing very fast as well. There is a revolution going on there. Digital information allows new forms of distribution, new types of content, and new services. Many business models have to be revisited. Many jobs will be different in the future. In the 21st century, being a journalist, a publisher, an editor, a writer, and even a singer or a movie star, yes, for movie stars, think, for example, to Avatar. Now the movie stars are blue. Will be completely different than what these jobs are today. But that's not all that is going on. Let me tell you a short story. 1 month ago, I had a discussion with the Minister of Communications and Information Technology of a very large Middle Eastern region country. The discussion was about mobile phone usage. The minister was troubled by the usage of mobile phones by kids, including and firstly in his own family, I must say. For him, there is a large part, almost all of the young population of his country, who live in a fully different world than the rest of the country, with a different culture. And he is troubled and anxious because he has no idea what the long-term consequences are of this fact. Here we reach the other priority I extract from the Carleton 2009 strategic plan, which is global identities and globalization. Globalization is everywhere in business space. It is a very well-known fact, and I will not elaborate too much about it, except to tell you that globalization is not fueled by greedy multinational conglomerates. No. Globalization comes from the will of 6 billion individuals who want to be like the other 1 billion. Why do they want to be like us? Because the technology has allowed them to be directly connected to networks which provides images, data, and services, the same ones we use in our day-to-day life. And their reaction is just, why not me? How can I get that? So globalization in culture and way of life is on the way. This evolution is irreversible and powerful. Now you face 3 challenges. How globalization can be sustainable? How do we preserve some form of identity and diversity? And how do we manage the stability of our common world? The answers to these 3 questions will shape the 21st century, and you will have to answer to this question in your life. I am confident and optimistic about our future in the 21st century. I believe that science and technology will help us build a better global world, provided that we are able to foster diversity and global identities. I insist on the S, identities, and monitor our future in a more ethical manner. I'm convinced that Carleton University will contribute decisively to our common success. I cannot thank you enough for the honor you bestowed upon me today, and I wish you the best for the 21st century. Thank you.